There is this fantasy version of travel everyone pushes online. Stunning mountaintops, infinity pools, slow-mo scuba diving in the Maldives. I've made videos like that too, but you know what's really behind those magical sunset shots? When you're out here living it, traveling solo, making content, figuring it out, things look different. I've been solo traveling for the past 18 years across different continents and countless countries. I've seen both sides. And there are a few lies I keep seeing in the travel creator world. Some are funny, some are straight up dangerous, and some quietly set people up for disappointment. So, let's get into it. These are the 5 biggest lies travel creators keep repeating and why it's time to call them out. Travel is always magical and life-changing. There is this soft glow added to travel online. Dreamy sunsets, spontaneous friendships, perfect cafes. It's all so aesthetic. Behind those slow-motion montages, there is often stress, sweat, and mosquito bites. Not every destination is a spiritual awakening. Sometimes it's construction outside your window at 6 a.m. Good morning, Vietnam. And a sketchy bowl of soup that haunts you for 48 hours. The truth? Travel has moments of magic, but they are woven into a lot of ordinary, uncomfortable, and sometimes boring experiences. It's not eat, pray, love every day, it's more like eat, get lost, deal with it. If your travel day didn't look like a Wes Anderson film, congratulations, you are normal. Romanticizing every part of travel sets a weird standard. It creates pressure to feel transformed even when you're just figuring it out how to flush a toilet in a new country. You don't need to turn every tuk-tuk ride into a metaphor. Sometimes it's just a bumpy ride. Every day is an adventure. This one sounds amazing. And sometimes it is. Hiking through a cloud forest, diving with manta rays, spontaneous dinners with strangers who turn into friends. But a lot of days, you're just trying to find decent Wi-Fi to upload a video before your laptop overheats. Chasing laundry, chasing SIM cards, chasing a Grab that cancelled 3 times already. Not every day is epic. Some days are just transit. Waiting for your Airbnb host to stop ghosting you, sitting in a cafe for 5 hours because you've got nowhere else to go. And that's still travel. It's just the part no one shows. It's not sexy, but it's honest. If your adventure today was figuring out the toilet situation, welcome to the real travel club. You are not failing because your Tuesday looked like an admin. The adventure is in the mix, not every single sunrise. You can travel the world on $10 a day. Technically, sure, you can survive on $10, eat instant noodles, crash in the hottest, noisiest 18-bed dorm, and walk 5 miles in 35 degrees Celsius heat because tuk-tuks cost too much. But that's not really travel, that's a budget survival challenge with bonus mosquito bites. As soon as you add anything remotely enjoyable, fresh fruit, a decent coffee, or a SIM card so you don't get stranded, you are already over budget. Want to visit a site, grab a bus, rent a scooter, boom! Budget blown. And safety? Sometimes you don't want to share a dorm with the guy who snores like a chainsaw. You want a lock on your door. Food that won't send you sprinting to the nearest pharmacy. That costs money. What about travel insurance? Not optional. Neither is the actual flight to Asia, visa fees, or that emergency exit row seat you caved in and paid for because your knees were screaming. All part of the real cost. In countries like Indonesia and the Philippines, there is a term for travelers who stretch budget to the absolute limit. Backpackers. It's controversial, but it shows this extreme budget lifestyle isn't really sustainable travel. It's more survival. Travel can be affordable, but the $10 a day dream, fantasy marketing. It ignores that most people want a decent night's sleep, clean food, and not to gamble with their health every meal. If you are stressing because your daily spend isn't influence approved, relax. They're either sponsored, hiding their Uber receipts, or quietly starving between brand deals. You have to travel full-time to be a real traveler. Travel creators often focus on extremes. Full-time nomad, no fixed address, one backpack, living the dream. That doesn't make someone more of a real traveler than someone who takes a few trips a year. You're a traveler when you explore. It doesn't matter how long, how far, or how often. There is a strange hierarchy online that suggests going back home means failure. Travel is not a competition. Full-time travel is not for everyone. Constant movement is exhausting. Packing, planning, and learning the basics of a new place happen all the time. Many full-time creators spend most of their time editing videos in cafes while the world moves around them. Sometimes, all that is seen of a city is the Airbnb and the corner noodle shop. This is not deep cultural immersion. Locals love tourists. If you want to know a first-hand answer, go to Canarian Islands and ask locals. People can be incredibly kind. They help when you are lost, laugh at your terrible pronunciation, invite you to meals, explain customs, and show genuine curiosity. At the same time, not everyone wants tourists around. In some places, tourism causes real problems. Rising prices, environmental strain, and overcrowding. Not everyone is happy to see a camera-toting stranger walking through their neighborhood. If you act entitled, disrespectful, or clueless, people notice. You don't get a warm welcome just for showing up. Approach people with respect, learn basic etiquette, try a few words of the local language. That's how kindness is earned. Don't expect applause just because you bought a bus ticket. If your main local interaction is buying a coconut from someone who didn't ask to be in your reel, maybe slow down. These aren't just lies. They're expectations that set people up for burnout, disappointment, and feeling disconnected from their journey. If your travel story doesn't look like the glossy highlight reel, you're not broken. You are seeing the real deal. I still love this life. I still think it's worth every step. I will always choose truth over perfection because that's where the real stories live. The messy, raw, unforgettable moments. Drop a comment if you have heard any of these myths before, or if there is one I didn't call out. I want to hear your experience. If you're into honest travel, solo adventures, and designing your life on your terms, hit subscribe and join the journey. Live by Goldprints, not by limits.